So when we look at this example here, I'm given a table, and I want to know which one of these equations is matching to this table. So one of the strategies we talk about here is actually writing each of these rules out. So don't think of these as equations, but think of these as specific rules telling you what to do. And then we're going to substitute to match. So let's go look at writing out these rules. So the first one I see negative 2x plus 4. And that rule is times negative 2 plus 4. The next rule I see is 2x minus 4. So this time this is times positive 2. And then I'm going to subtract 4. And I'm going to abbreviate subtract with sub. The next one I see is 4x minus 2. So in this case that stands for times 4 minus 2. And then the last one I see is negative 4x plus 2, which means I'm going to take a number and I'm going to multiply it by negative 4. And then add 2. Right, so we're going to substitute in one of these x values here into my equation. So that's what the steps are. So let's go actually substitute in now for your equation. So negative 2 times some number plus 4. And remember, we're looking at some x value, and those x values can be found in this column right here. So let's take the first x value here of 2, and let's plug it in. So I get negative 2 times negative 2. That gives me negative 4. And then I'm going to add 4. Negative 4 plus 4, well, those are 0 pairs. So that's 0, not 6. So we know this is not the right rule. All right, so let's look at another rule and see if we can figure out what it is. Again, I can still plug in 2, but this time I want to change the rule here. All right, so let me erase that. So let's look at the second rule. So it says times 2, so 2 times some number minus 4. So again, I plug in 2 into x. 2 times 2 is a positive 4 minus 4. Again, 0 pairs, 0, not 0. I'm trying to make it into a 6. So again, not the right rule. All right, so let's move on to the next one. So what we're going to keep doing is we're going to keep plugging in a number into these rules until we get it right. All right, so let's see. We've got 4. Nope, don't want to use that. 4 times some number minus 2. So let's plug in a 2 and see what we get. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 minus 2 is 6. So this one does work. So that's a maybe because I know 2 is 6. So you have a couple options here to see if it works next. You can continue to plug in a number. So I can put another number 4 and see if it gives me what I need. Or I can move to the next rule. So for example, what I mean by that is, okay, I know that 2 works here. Let's move down the table and see what we get when we plug in 4, because that's my next x value. So if I move down the table and I look, oh look, there's the next x value. Does 4 give me 14? So 4 times 4 is 16, minus 2 is 14. Yep, it does. So that's one way to do it. So I know that works. And if I plugged in a 6 here, I would get 24 minus 2 gives me 22. 8 times 4 is 32, minus 2 is 0. So we know that works. The other way you could confirm this to work is to take your original number here of 2 and plug it into this next rule. So the last rule says negative 4 times some number plus 2. If I plug in a 2 from the original table, negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. Plus 2 gives me negative 6, not 6. So C would be my answer here. All right, so one more looking at an example. So that's if given a table, can you find the right linear equation or rule, right? We use the term rules because these are representing what I'm doing. So let's go look at one. Okay, so what you're going to learn today in today's learning target is I can match a non-proportional linear equation to a table. So yesterday what we looked at was matching some equations in y equals some coefficient of x. And what we did is like we took this number of coefficients. So for example, if I had y equals 3x, and we substituted values in for x, and we said that the rule is, okay, whatever x is times 3 should give me some kind of y value. And that's what we looked at yesterday. So today we're going to look at what we call non-proportional. So we call these proportional because they're one step. And they're multiplied. We have coefficient. With non-proportional, we're going to see two steps. So for example, I could have y equals 3x plus 2. And this plus 2 part is what makes it a non-proportional linear equation. The actual steps and process and thinking here is not going to change. And what I mean by that is we're still going to substitute something in for x. We're still going to multiply by 3, but this time all we're going to do is add on that additional part. So the rule here would be times 3 plus 2. And so that means I'm going to plug in a number, multiply it by 3, and then add 2 to see what I get. So let's go look at some examples. And in this example, you're given the rule or the equation, and I want to know which table. So if I was going to write this rule out in words, I would say times negative 3, and then I'm going to add 4. That's the steps I'm going to take. Those are the rules. So let's actually go do the math. So we notice that these tables each start with a 0 value in x. The good news is that they each start with a different x value. And so we can tell right away which one of these is probably going to be wrong. So let's go look at your equation. So if I take negative 3 and I plugged in 0, because that's the first one, and then I want to add 4, well, negative 3 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 4 is 4. So 4 there, 4 there, 4 there, negative 3 there. That cannot be the answer. So now we got to move to the next one. So you notice the next one is all 4. So that makes it easy for us. So I'm going to plug in a 4. Negative 3 times 4 is negative 12. Plus 4, I have some 0 pairs. I need to borrow 4 negatives. That cancels out. That leaves 8 negatives. So my answer is negative 8. And I can see where I look, I see negative 4. Negative 4, negative 12, not negative 8. So that cannot be right. All right, let's come down to D. Negative 4, negative 10. That cannot be right. So that only leaves one choice. And if we look, we see negative 4 with negative 8. So again, we're still substituting, right? We're still putting in place of. We're still placing it. All we did was from yesterday to today was we added a little bit extra work, right? And we're adding or subtracting something different. And so we're still plugging in numbers, and then we're doing some simple math and input-output. And so as a recap, we talked about rules. Right? The rule of 3x plus 2 would mean times 3 plus 2. That's the rule. That's what the rule of steps I have to follow. And then we substitute in something for x, follow the rule, and does it give me y? All right, so you do have a practice in Schoology today. If you have any questions or concerns, please let your teacher know. I hope you have a great day, and good luck. Thanks.